Well, good afternoon, everyone in the world. Welcome to one more great interview of Dojo Live, connecting experts like you, precisely like you. My name is Carlos, and I'm joining you from Nearsoft. And for our sixth interview of Season 4 Travel Edition, we'll be chatting with Lynell Eaddy. She's the president of Local Social, a company that helps you change the way you do business by saving hours, right? And time and countless dollars on your everyday tasks. Am I right, Lynell?
That's right.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. So we're going to be discussing examining behavior. No, wait a minute. That's software development in the travel industry. And so that's what Lynell is going to be talking to us about. And Lynell, I want to welcome you to today's interview. Thank you for having agreed to be here with us in these very busy days. We appreciate that. So you're more welcome to the show. And let's start, Lynell. Let's start with, I'd like to start today's conversation with you. Let's start by tell us a little bit about you and about your company, and then we can move on to today's topic, please.
Well, I started with a degree in political science, thinking I wanted to be an attorney, and changed my mind quickly, and went and got a degree in computer engineering and decided to do development. About that time, the company, I was working for a Fortune 500 company for years, and then they decided they were going to lay a bunch of people off. So I decided with a business partner to come work and develop our own business doing software. I didn't know what I was going to do, but my family is in vacation rentals. And so they asked me, do you know how that is with your family? Would you mind doing this kind of thing for me? And I remember I went to my business partner and I said, my family wants us to develop a new website and an application to, save them time when they go to find out whether their homes are ready for the guests to come in. And he said to me, well, I don't think there's money in it, but I'll do it for you. And so that's how we started. We began writing software for the vacation rental industry, and it's a blast.
Yeah, actually, I can envision that being a blast because anything that has to do with travel, with leisure, and combined with technology. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that as far as being intriguing and to say the least, and also extremely interesting from my standpoint. And it's interesting that you have a background in computer engineering, and then you also are working in travel tech. And the previous interview we had was also with someone that had a similar background. And I'm going to be asking similar questions because of the very nature of what I just said, right? So,
all right.
Engineering and travel tech. But let's not get into that there yet because that's some things that are popping into my head. Let's move on to tell us a little bit about your company. What do you do at your company, and what's your role in travel tech at Local Social?
So right now, I run my company with a CEO. We together run the company. LSI creates software. We write software that does things. We do things like housekeeping software that will automatically create a schedule for property managers. We're like an intermediate layer, just like an intermediate layer where on the bottom is the data that comes in from the property management system. So we work with people such as HomeAway. Are you familiar with who HomeAway is? VRBO. So we pull data from systems like theirs that sit in the vacation rental property manager's office. So we pull all their data, which has the reservations, all the accounting information about guests, and we take those and put them in a database and do all kinds of cool stuff with them. We create reports that'll tell them, where their soft spots are, where they need to put their marketing efforts to get their guests to come back to a certain area. We do things like we pull all the reservation data and we create automatic housekeeping schedules for their housekeepers, automatic schedules for their pool and spas, anything that they physically do on a regular basis that they repeat, we try to automate. So we also do a lot of marketing emails where all the data comes in and we create emails to go out and say, hey, your reservation's here. Make sure you do blah, blah, blah. Things like that. So we also do web hosting, and for certain clients, we do some large e-commerce websites and keep the SEO up for that. And so that's what we do. So we're always looking at new kind of stuff that we can do that's going to make their lives easier. And that's why it's so gratifying. I mean, you're not just writing software and having fun writing code and creating specs and all that, but you're actually changing people's lives in the way that they do business. That's just awesome.
Yeah, and that totally makes sense, especially when you're focused on the human side of the equation. It's like I mean, the relevance and the influence that how technology can affect the quality of life of regardless of what you're heading towards in technology, but specifically in travel tech. There's something that I would like to ask you is there are some in the travel experience, or be it online experiences or guest contracts or communications, there are many subjective elements that arise during the travel experience itself. You know, elements that are kind of unique to the human being, to the person, and because of their subjective nature, they're kind of hard to sometimes to streamline, so to speak. So how do you align the subjective elements of travel tech, or of travel, not travel tech, of travel, with the technology aspect so as to make it more effective or more predictable? So how do you do that? How would you best do that?
Let's talk about making it more effective. So when you talk about personalizing the experience to the guest, the person that's coming, one of the things that I think is really important is that you know what people are looking for when they come to your website to rent a home. You need to know what you're looking for. You need to know what data they can't get at, and hopefully put enough information around that they can find exactly what they want in a quick amount, a quick amount of time. You've only got 2 or 3 seconds to keep their interest online. So we personalize searches and things like that, and grab cookies and all those fun things that you do technology-wise to make it personalized to that guest that's coming to look for a home.
Okay. Well, I think I can understand that part. And does that apply also to the, for example, the vacation rentals, for example?
Exactly. That's exactly what it applies. That's what I'm talking about. So we know statistically what people are going to look for. We know the amenities that mean more to them, because when you look at a vacation rental, the thing that's different between vacation rentals and hotels is vacation rentals, well, for hotels, you got this room, it has 1 bedroom, it has 1 bath, and it has maybe a living room, maybe a kitchen. You've got another room exactly like it, another room exactly like it, another room exactly like it, and on and on and on. When you go to a vacation rental, each one is so unique and different. They all have 50 amenities that you could pull out. It may have a dock. It may have a fishing poles down in the bottom. That they consider that an amenity. You'd be surprised what homeowners consider as amenities. Because they have given it a lot of thought as to what that person going into that vacation rental is going to want to do. So, ice makers. But what people are really looking for are number of bedrooms, number of baths. They do want to know the bedding. I know that that's something really important. They want to know where the queen bed is and where the king bed is and how many beds there are. They want to know whether there's a hot tub, whether there's an elevator. And I may have forgotten some of the, but more or less, those are the most important ones. And so you're only going to put a half a dozen right there at the beginning, and then you'll give them an advanced search so they can figure out, so I can pick my home generically. Now let me go down and look and see, does it have the fishing rod that I really want to go out on that pier, and then I don't have to bring my own stuff.
Right. Okay, and one of the things that, as I was listening to you, one of the first things I thought, how is this, when you're talking about the technology part, the digital part, the online part, when it comes to the user experience, what is the most challenging part that you have discovered so as to streamline the process?
The most challenging part to streamline the process, well, there's a bunch of pieces there that are challenging. It has to be fast. Bottom line, it's got to be fast. It's got to be mobile and it's got to be fast. If it's not those things, then it's not effective. And we were talking about efficacy, and I think that if I had to pick the top thing that's the most challenging and most important, it would be making all the searches really fast, helping them get to the data that they want quickly.
Absolutely. That's what I want. Exactly. Yeah, so that's a good way to put it. Okay, Lynell, now about the specifically, let's narrow it down to the software development part. Actually, that's today's topic is going to be specifically about software development per your choice of topic. So tell us a little bit about why you think that software development in the travel industry specifically is fun. And I kind of like that tagline that you use because sometimes I think sometimes software development is hard, but is it fun? And is it fun in the travel industry? And what makes it fun? Can you elaborate a little bit on that, please?
I can. So I'm very passionate about creating new software and creating new pieces for people. Okay, so here's why it's fun. For an example, last week I got to go to one of our new clients' offices, and I got to sit down with a housekeeping manager who is a young lady. She's been doing this job for a couple of years, and I got to sit down and walk through our software with her. The really unique piece about travel is everyone does it differently. So none of my clients do the same thing the same way. They don't. So what we do with our software is we build like a menu. Okay, so we have a menu and we have rules, and you can set those rules up to do anything you want, because at the beach we do it differently than we do it at Tahoe, then we do it at the mountains in North Carolina, then we do it in McHenry, Maryland, where they have a beautiful ski season and a beautiful lake season. And so I got to go in and I got to sit with her and see how they do things. And then I got to write software. I got to call my developer. I had my lead developer on the phone with me as we walked through how she did business. And being able to change the program to make it faster for her, to save her, I think we ended up saving her like 36 hours every 2 weeks. I mean, that's just like, oh, that's cool. You think about over the course of the years that they used my software, how much money would they have saved by me sitting down in that office with her and looking at how they did business and creating pieces that worked for them. So that was pretty fabulous. I mean, I that's definitely the epitome for me of having fun. Another example is we're a custom software shop. And so in the industry, everybody knows us as a custom software shop. So they're always coming to me saying, Lynell, are you going to have this, or can you build this, or if I give you all these specs, can you make this happen for me? And being able to make things happen is out of nothing. That's what programming is. It's creativity at its best. Being able to sit down and write a list of specs and then program something that makes a difference. That's pretty sexy.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely think it is. And I was going to ask you something, but I think I'm going to stop now for 1 second because, Lynell, if I may, I'd like to just quickly remind the audience that if you have any questions for Lynell about software development in the travel industry, you can do so very easily. It's right here on Twitter. This is where our Twitter handle is, @DojoLIVE. You can see it right there at the bottom. So send us your questions on Twitter. We'll read them back to Lynell right here, and she'll respond live during the broadcast. But also keep an eye on this interview because this is being recorded. You can watch it at a later time if need be. With that being said, I'll close the parenthesis, and then now I'm going to get back to you, Lynell. So one of the things that I wanted to ask you is, you mentioned the fun part of programming in travel tech and software products. Do you think it's still fun when you have to deal with issues like, well, it's not an issue, but with things like, for aspects like, for example, um, localization or geographic localization? I mean, from my standpoint, it's like, ooh, that's a lot of work, because it entails maybe a different view or broader scope or broader view, because there are other considerations like different cultures, different regions, different geographies, even regulations. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but would you say this is fun too, or is this like a necessary evil? So where's the fun in this? How can we extract fun out of this if when need be?
Well, I think that, talking about geographical localizations, we do things in North Carolina differently. In real estate, for instance, we are regulated we're more regulated here than we are in a lot of other places. So we also do e-signature online contracts. Do online contracts for guests that are coming in to stay with a property manager, and we do contracts for owners that are they're contracting with a property manager. So we do a broad spectrum there. In North Carolina, programming that particular piece is a bit more challenging than programming for, say, someone that might be in California, because they do their contracts differently there. They may just consider them addendums, whereas in North Carolina, it's a Vacation Rental Agreement Act. It's literally regulated and stipulated by law what we have to do and the way we have to do it. So that can be quite challenging. The other thing is doing the credit card piece. The way that they do credit cards in North Carolina, the things that are allowed there may not be allowed over in in another state or even in another country. And so there's a lot of bits and pieces. It's just customization, though. At the heart of it, it's just customizing things to work, the same product to work differently for different people. So, and it's what we specialize in. So is it fun? Oh gosh, I think it's all fun. I love my job. I love coming to work. There's never a day I go, I got to go to work. I get up and I'm like, ooh, what do we got today? What's on our priority list, and where are we on our priorities, and when are we going to be able to get this out, because everybody's waiting for it. So we're doing a new project for all of the vacation rental industry. We're writing a program with the Vacation Rental Managers Association that is the epitome of localized geography differences. We're going to be pulling stats from all over and combining them regionally, locally, regionally, and then, as a whole. So that's going to be pretty doggone cool.
Okay.
Getting the data is going to be interesting, but we'll see about that.
I'm sorry, say again, please.
Getting the data is going to be quite interesting.
Oh, I see.
That's probably going to be the most challenging part of the program, is going to be because you're going to have to take all of that data and we're going to have to normalize it in some way so that the reporting makes sense and it is accurate. So,
okay,
that's a really cool challenge.
Yeah, I can imagine that, and actually, even thinking a little bit ahead. I don't know. Maybe this is something that you could tell us a little bit more about. But what about if you were to cater to the needs of a different market, for example, a global market or an international market, where the geographic localization aspect would be even more challenging? So how would you get ready for that if you were looking in heading that direction?
So we have been doing it. Actually, this past March, 2017 in March, my CEO and I went to Europe. We went to an international VRMA event, which is a Vacation Rental Managers Association, that's our client. And then we both went back individually. He went over to Scotland. There's a property management company there that we really are interested in tying into. And I went the other way. I went to Czechia and to Prague and Germany, in that area, and talked to vacation rental managers there and looked at the way they're doing business. So it's really not that stunningly different. There are, of course, challenges there. that are based on being in the United States and then being over there. There are challenges presented from that direction, but I don't think it's going to be as difficult as we originally thought. I truly don't. I mean, travel is global. You know, having fun on vacation is global. You know, whether you're in Spain and in Malaga or whether you're in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Especially speaking about the fun part, the fun element. Have you ever thought of, I mean, you individually as principal of the company, have you ever thought of embarking into different types of digital realms? For example, virtual reality experiences or augmented reality. You know, those aspects that also are kind of trendy in today's travel tech world. Have you ever had or what's your take on that? Do you see any future in that, or where's it heading? What's your general up on that particular aspect?
Well, that's interesting. I think I'm a real estate broker as well, so I thought when Matterport came out and did all that 3D stuff, it was the coolest thing since sliced bread. I think that it priced itself a bit out of the market to start with, and then it's slowly gaining market share. We were approached by some of their reps to this past December, about a year ago, to get together and to look at how that could be used in vacation rentals, and never quite connected on that. I think I think that type of thing is very useful, especially in looking at a vacation rental, being able to do something virtually there and virtually see see the whole house and that kind of thing. I think we're definitely moving in that direction. As far as creating a virtual vacation, don't know about that. I mean, they got some really cool stuff out. I mean, I'm a gamer at heart, and I mean, you'll find me nights playing Zelda, the new Zelda Breath of the Wild and that kind of thing, because I'm truly a nerd, which is as virtual as I get on vacation right now. So, but I haven't given the other a lot of thought. I have given a lot of thought to what it would look like if we could make that house more visual and bring that person more into the house that they want to rent, and take a look at what that would look like to them. So.
Okay. Cool. So in another note, I was thinking, I think it will be a cliche, or just to say that, yeah, the users are more internet savvy, and everyone's the digital world is within reach. You can just grab your smartphone, and the whole world is going to be there. That's a cliche because it's almost everyone knows that nowadays. But still, if you think in terms of the types of problems that you have helped your customers and your clients solve through LSI tools, in that sense, what sort of situations or potential problems do you envision yourself to be able to solve in the next 5 years, or what challenging aspects do you envision in the next 5 years, 10 years in the travel tech world that you're going to help solve?
There's one that's particularly near and dear to my heart. We have a lot of hurricanes. We're located in Cary, North Carolina. I'm from Holden Beach, North Carolina. So there are a lot of hurricanes that come up and down the East Coast. And the one that recently hit Texas was near and dear to my heart because we have a tool. We give away a lot of free tools to our clients. One of the ones that we give away to anyone who's our client is a disaster recovery tool. And what that does is it allows it's hosted, it's a cloud hosted solution, and it allows the homeowner to go online and see pictures of his house and where it is. It allows the maintenance worker or whoever's going out, the inspector who's going out to look at those houses, to put everything up for that house, for that homeowner. And it allows another login for the management of the company, the property management company, to keep track of where their lists are. Have you done this? Have you done that? Have you done this? Have you done that? For disaster recovery. And it's a lot more, but that's just a real quick generic piece. When the hurricane hit, I sent an email out to a friend of mine that I know was helping vacation managers in that area, and I said, hey, why don't you take the disaster recovery tool? You can use this for everybody in the port there, and hopefully it would help you to recover more quickly and to get pictures out to the homeowners and the people that things have been damaged. And the one thing they said was, well, will it work offline? Will it work without cellular? Will it work without any internet? And I had to go back and say, no. Does it cache then? Will it cache all that data and allow us to go out to the field, gather all that data, take our pictures to help people, and then go back and it automatically uploads? And we don't have that technology. And this week we were in meetings talking about what can we do to make that happen? Because yes, technology and it's a digital age, but I can tell you when those type of storms happen that happened to Puerto Rico and happened in the US, those types of storms that happen all over the world, if there's not a way that we have a tool that will go in and allow us to cache that data through an app, or we're looking at all different kinds of things, then we're missing the boat on that piece. And I feel like that's something we need to spend more time thinking about. How are we going to do that? And if anybody has any ideas out there, let me know. I'm open to any ideas. We've got our tech team working on it, and so that's one of the things when I think about the digital age. And sure, it's cliche, it's really not, because there are lots of times when we don't have access to that.
Yeah, well, that's a good way to put it. And I think you're absolutely right. And hey, well, you mentioned something. You encourage your viewers to, if they have any ideas, how can they get a hold of you? How can they reach out to you?
They can reach out to me. We have a website, lsitools.com, or discoverlsi.com, and or you can email me at Lynell. My first name's right there, Lynell, at lsi biz, as in business, biz.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'd love to hear ideas on that.
I'm sorry, I was going to say that I just added your company's URL. It's right here.
Perfect.
Right below where the lower third is, lsitools.com. That's where you can get a hold of Lynell. And of course, as I said at the beginning, this interview is being recorded, and the viewers out there who are watching us on Dojo Live, all the info is going to be in there. So if you didn't catch it for any reason, that's fine. But Lynell, if you want to use a very low-tech item and just doodle something and show it to the camera, you're more than welcome to do so.
I can do that.
Oh yeah, we love that. We love that. I mean, yeah, if you had a puppet and you were able to show it to the camera, we can encourage that too. By all means. So, okay. Let's see. Well, we're approaching the final minutes of today's interview, Lynell. Are there any final words of wisdom that you would like to leave our audience with in terms of software development in the travel industry, or LSI tools, or any other aspect that you would like to mention before we go?
I think for myself, I have this visualization. When I think of words of wisdom, I have this visualization that I love to hike. So, I'm hiking, and I normally see myself in Colorado above Denver. There's this amazing place where the National Atmospheric Studies are, and it's a great hiking place. And I see myself walking down there, and I pass this older lady, and she turns around and looks at me, and I look at her, and I'm like, oh, she looks familiar. And I begin talking to her, and I realize that it's myself 30 years from now. And I try to say, what does that lady say to me? And she says to me that your dreams are only as big as you make them, and that you can do anything that you really set your mind to with hard work and God's help. So I think that for me, not putting anything in a box, I don't believe in boxes. There is no box when it comes to software development. You can make so many people's lives better by doing it. And to me, that's why I do what I do.
Excellent. I couldn't think of a better motivation. I'm totally with you, especially when you focus on making people's lives better in every way. I mean, there's no higher purpose than that, in my view, my personal view, of course. So let's say, Lynell, the only thing left for me to do is simply send you a big, heartfelt, warm thank you for having been with us today. And again, our viewers, if you, for some reason you just stepped in and you would like to watch this interview at a later time, you can do so on our website, dojo.nearsoft.com. And before we go, I'd like to simply make a quick announcement, because we have more travel tech related interviews this week. Actually, the next one is going to be tomorrow we're going to have, let's see who we have tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to have featured Michael Golden at rented.com. And of course, on Thursday, we have Doug Kennedy from the Kennedy Training Network. So just keep an eye on that. Go to dojo.nearsoft.com. You'll have all the info right there about these interviews that we're going to be featuring. So Lynell, I really appreciate your time, your willingness to be here. And of course, it was a pleasure, an honor. We learned a lot, and we had fun. So look forward to being in touch. And again, thank you so much for being here, having been here on Dojo Live.
Thank you for having me.
Connecting experts like you. That's our motto.
Thanks, Carlos.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and you have a wonderful day.